And we welcome you to the boys consolation contest between the Canadian Wildcats and the Goodwell Eagles. Both teams now out on the floor. We're ready for the opening tip. And Goodwell will control to start things. Victor Ramirez, number 3 with the ball, leaves it off for Christian Gaucine. Number 2 now over to number 23, Abel Espino. Now to Schreiner inside, ball tipped away. Canadian comes away with it. Number 11, Cameron Cavalier with it. Trace Mitchell, number 2, saved that one from going out of bounds. To the three-pointer is up from the corner. Missed everything. Espino with the rebound. Long pass ahead to Ramirez. Lays it up and in. It's good. And that's what you're going to see from this Goodwell Eagle team is they've got a deep bench. They're going to run. They're going to guard you for 90 feet of floor space. Come into this contest with an 11-1 record. Ranked 12th in the state. Class B, the smallest class in Oklahoma. Underneath, foul will be called. Looks like that's going to be on Ramirez. So at the line, number 30, we've got a Canadian list, but do not have a number 30 listed. Sinks the first free throw. Second one no good. Ball bounds around. Rebound grab by number 5, Nathan Wagner, to keep possession for the Wildcats. 2-1 contest. Espino steps in front, steals it, lays it up off the glass. It's good. 4-1 now the lead for the Eagles. Pass knocked away by Schreiner, gets it back, lays it up and in, missed the shot. Rebounded underneath by Cavalier. Now Goodwell with it again, put up the shot. He'll be called for the travel. That was called on Ramirez. Mentioned Schreiner, number 20. He's a 6'5" junior, Ben Schreiner. Once again, full court pressure by the Eagles. Ball across midcourt. Dumps off. Number 30 puts it up and in. 4-3 ball game. Goodwell leads. Gaucine gives it up over to Espino. Hayden Gonzalez, number 10, the other starter for Goodwell. He gets it at the high post, dumps it down low, pass intercepted by Jackson Valenzuela, number 10. Ball out of bounds. It will be Canadian ball. 5:44 to play here in the first quarter. Drive to the block, puts it up, and good. Trace Mitchell with the basket. Canadian with their first lead of the game, 5-4. Espino split the defenders but lost control, able to get it over to Ramirez. Three-pointer up from the corner is good from the big man, Aiden Gonzalez. 7-5 now the lead. Long pass ahead. Now they'll slow it up. Leaves it for Cavalier. Espino will be called for the foul. That'll be his first. Team's second foul. Mitchell back up top to Wagner. Now Cavalier with it. Dump it inside, back outside quickly. Drive, puts up the shot, no good, but he does draw the foul. That'll be on Schreiner, his first. Team's third foul. That aggressive style from Goodwell could cause them some foul trouble, already with 3. Less than 3 minutes, or just over 3 minutes into the game. Wagner misses the first free throw. And the second as well. 30 with the rebound, misses the putback. Schreiner with the rebound. Three-pointer is up by Gonzalez, no good this time. Rebounded underneath by Cavalier. That foul will be called on Gaucine. Team's fourth foul already. Julian Dominguez, a 5'8" freshman, checks in for Canadian. Ball tapped away. It will stay with Canadian as Spino with some quick hands there knocks that one away. Cavalier with it. Passes ahead. Dominguez gives it back to him. Now over to Wagner. Into the corner to Mitchell. Back up top, three-pointer is up by Dominguez. He drains it. And Canadian retakes the lead, 8-7. Long pass ahead to Espino, looked at the three. Now he'll go to drive, baseline jumper, too strong. Schreiner with the rebound and the putback. That was a long putback, 9-8 now the lead for Goodwell. Ball up across midcourt. Dominguez, dump underneath, 30 puts it up off the glass and in. Retake the lead, 10-9 now for Canadian. Baseline drive, puts it up off the glass, left it a little short. Number 30.
30 his last name's Carr. He's a Division I offensive line.
Goodwell with the ball. Backdoor pass to Espino. Shot at the block. Basket counts, so he'll go to the line for the and one. Couldn't quite tell what the call was there momentarily. Able to draw the foul. So he'll go to the line for the and one. Free throw up. No good. Rebounded by number 14, Corbin Throgmorton. Drive to the basket by Cavalier. Draws a foul. Checking in for Goodwell will be number 33, a 6-foot senior. Vance Schreiner. Looks like he'll have to wait. The first free throw from Cavalier, no good. So he'll check into the game. Jaden Harold checked in as well for the Eagles, number 4 earlier, as well as number 24, Mason Taylor, just a freshman. Missed, rebounded though by Wagner, so Canadian keeps possession. Three-pointer up, no good. And a foul underneath on Throgmorton. That'll be his first. Did find out a last name at least on number 30 for Canadian. That's Carr. Espino with it out top. Schreiner's going to be called for the travel. Move the pivot foot, ball back over to Canadian. Goodwell with an 11-10 lead. They'll continue with their full court pressure. Throgmorton with it. Gives it up to Wagner. Now across the timeline with Dominguez. Fuentes. Now they'll dive it inside to Throgmorton. Puts it up off the glass, gets it to drop in. And the foul is going to be called on Schreiner. That'll be his first, team 6th already. Valenzuela checks back in for Canadian. No good on the free throw. Rebounded by Ben Schreiner, got the foul call. Didn't see the number on that, and they're not putting it up on the board like they were during the girls' consolation. Espino gives it up to Schreiner. They'll call a jump ball as he's tied up by Throgmorton. So arrow points in favor of Canadian. And that's going to be a travel call as Throgmorton drug his pivot foot. Espino with it in the backcourt. Looks to drive to the free throw line, picks up his dribble, back outside to Schreiner, who looks to go baseline, all the way to the bucket, lays it up and in. Goodwell retakes the lead, 13-12. Full court pressure. Ball still knocked loose, 10-second call. As the Goodwell defense forces that turnover. 1:49 left here in the first quarter. Into the backcourt to Taylor. Taylor already a 6-foot freshman. Tried to get it to Espino. Now back to Espino. Off to Schreiner. Dumps it inside to Schreiner. Back outside. Three-pointer up. Can't get it to drop in. Dominguez took it. Now stolen away by Espino. Lays it up off the glass. No good. But he does draw the foul on Gonzalez. So he'll go to the line for 2 shots. First free throw from Espino is good. Gaucine checks into the game. Or actually Ramirez checks into the game for the Eagles. Trace Mitchell in for Canadian. Second free throw is good. Now Gaucine will check in for Espino. 15-12, Goodwell leads, 1:22 left here in the first. Ball thrown in. Referees discussing whose ball it is. They'll say it is Goodwell ball. Nobody touched it, so they'll inbound it underneath their own basket. Ball into the corner. Ramirez drives, ducks underneath, kicks it out. Now to the corner, three-pointer up by Taylor. It's good! 18-12 now the lead for Goodwell. Pass up, it's stolen by Harold. Gets it to Ramirez, up ahead to Gaucine. And he's fouled on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. Foul on Dominguez, team's 5th foul. We've got a timeout on the floor. 58 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. It's Goodwell 18, Canadian 12.
Do you dread the cold of winter? Then PTCI has the freeze that will warm your heart. Boost your speed, and PTCI will freeze your internet bill at the same price you've already been paying for 6 whole months. If you are a new customer, PTCI will give you a free month of internet, and everyone gets whole home Wi-Fi free for 6 months. Call 800-562-2556 to freeze your bill today. Some restrictions apply.
So Christian Gaucine, the 5'9" junior, at the line for 2 shots. Goodwell's pressure defense causing some problems. Can't get that one to drop in. Number 30, Carr, will check back in for Canadian. Off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Cavalier. Races across midcourt. Defense able to catch up, cut him off. He'll set up the offense. Dominguez with the ball out top now. Drives, kicks it to Cavalier. Kicks it to the corner. Three-pointer is up and good by Valenzuela. Makes it a three-point game with 36 left to play here in the first quarter. Ramirez across midcourt. Now over to Harold. Back to Gaucine. Leaves it for Taylor. Back to Gaucine. Looks to go baseline. Puts up the shot. No good. And they'll say that was a charge on Gaucine. Team's seventh foul. 21.5 on the clock. Ball inbounded to Mitchell. Gets it off to Dominguez across midcourt. Almost tied up there by Taylor. Able to get the ball loose. Clock at 5 seconds. Drives, kicks out. Mitchell with it. Pulls up free throw line. Gets it to drop in. And that's the end of the first quarter. The Goodwell Eagles lead the Canadian Wildcats 18-17. So we get ready to start the second quarter. Goodwell with the lead and possession of the ball. Ball into the backcourt to Espino. Quickly a foul called on Dominguez. Team's sixth foul. So some pressure defense here by Canadian as well. Landon Fuentes will check in. I'll assume since Dominguez went out so quick, he's already got some early foul trouble. We'll try to get that at halftime and then keep it up here. They had it in the first half, so we didn't think we had to have first game, so we didn't think we had to have it here. Schreiner puts up the shot. That was affected by the defense. Put up and back in, though. That was Ramirez with the basket. 20-17 now the lead for Goodwell. Ball across midcourt. Passed into the corner. Now back up top. Fuentes, skip pass over to Mitchell. Leaves it out for Valenzuela. Cavalier pulls up free throw line. No good. Rebound by Carr on the backside. Banks it up. No good. Too strong. Now Ramirez with the ball out front. Kicks it to the corner. Three-pointer is up. No good. Ramirez with the putback. Off of the Gonzalez miss. 22-17 now the score. Ball loose. Schreiner's going to grab that for Goodwell. They force another turnover. Puts it up. He'll draw the charge, though. So Schreiner picks up the foul. That'll be the team's 8th foul. Valenzuela set up there. So Ben Schreiner will have to check out. Harold will check back in. Cavalier leaves it off for Fuentes. Now around. Valenzuela had it momentarily. Skip pass back to Cavalier. Now back to Mitchell. Tipped away momentarily. Underneath, stolen away by Ramirez. Long pass ahead to Espino. He's going to be fouled from behind by Valenzuela. That'll be team foul number 7. So both teams now in the bonus with 6:17 left to play here in the first half. Espino at the line for the 1-and-1. Sinks the first. Gets them both. It's 24-17 now. Goodwell leads. Biggest lead of the game. Tipped away by Espino, but it will stay Canadian ball. It goes out underneath the basket, Canadian basket. Pass into Mitchell, puts up the hook, no good. Tipped out by Carr. Now Cavalier with it out front, guarded by Espino, now dumps it off to Dominguez. Mitchell looked to drive, ball loose. Carr saves it, but up ahead, Gonzalez with it now. Espino, fadeaway shot, tipped out. Ramirez gets it over to Gonzalez. He'll give it up to Espino. Back to Gonzalez. Espino gets it inside to Harold. Steps inside, puts up the shot, no good, but he does draw the foul on Valenzuela. Team's 8th foul, so Harold at the line for 2 shots. In and out on the first. Wagner checks back in, and in for the Ben Bryant, number 20, checks in as well for the Wildcats. 5:18 left to play here in the first half. Free throw is good from Harold. Lead now at 25-17 for Goodwell. Mitchell able to bring it across the timeline. Oh, that one's tipped by Espino, but Cavalier able to grab the loose ball. Pass across the lane, and he'll be fouled as Wagner got it underneath. Foul will be called on Ramirez. Nathan Wagner's first shot. Edges right over the front of the rim and in. 5:02 left here, first half. Second shot up, off the back iron. Taylor with the rebound. Outlet pass to Harold up across midcourt quickly. 7-point game. That one knocked out of bounds by Fuentes. Eagles will inbound right in front of their own bench. In front of the Wildcat bench, I should say. Taylor with it out near midcourt, trying to make sure he didn't over and back that one. Espino with it, looks to drive to the block, splits the defenders, puts it up and in. 27-18 now the lead. Mitchell with it. Gets it across just before the 10 seconds to Cavalier. Ball into the corner for Fuentes, drives, puts up the floater. It's good. 27-20 now the score. They'll go with some full court pressure as well. Ball into Taylor. Taylor will bring it up as they clear out. Over to Espino. Now Ramirez. Back to Taylor. Gonzalez on the block. Goes baseline and banks it up and in. 29-20 now the score. Cavalier passes it ahead. Across the timeline is Fuentes. Split the defenders as Wagner misses the shot, though. Taylor with the rebound. Quickly gets it to Harold. Up across midcourt to Gonzalez. Spins at the block, puts it up off the glass. Defense affected that one. Cavalier with the rebound. Long pass ahead to Bryant and knocked away at the last second by Harold as he went up for the layup. Vance Schreiner checks back in for the Eagles. Mitchell now back outside. Cavalier under 3.5 left. 9-point lead for Goodwell. Cavalier with the ball again. Picks up his dribble, leaves it outside for Mitchell. Fuentes now in the corner with it, dumps it down low to Wagner. Turnaround jumper over Gonzalez is good. 29-22 with under 3 to play here in the first half. Ramirez gets it back outside to Schreiner. Back to Ramirez on the block, goes inside. That one blocked by Fuentes. Now Cavalier behind the back, across midcourt. Kicks it to the corner. Mitchell for 3. In and out. Rebounded, though, by Wagner. Puts it up in the lane. Gets it to drop in. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line for the and one. Foul will be called on Gonzalez. 10th team foul. So Canadian will be in the double bonus the rest of the half with 2:29 left to play in the first half. Free throw is good as he converts the three-point play. We're down to a 4-point gap, 29-25. Espino with the ball, races into the lane, puts up the jumper. It's good, 31-25. Pass across midcourt, Mitchell with it. Now into the corner to Bryant. Skip pass, knocked away by Ramirez on the steal. Now in transition, slows down, Euro step. No good, but does draw the foul on Cavalier. That's going to be team foul number 9. So Victor Ramirez at the line for 2 shots. First free throw up and nothing but net. Carr checks back in for Canadian. 2:04 left in the half. 32-25 the lead for Goodwell. That one good as well, 33-25, as the lead is back up to 8. Drive by Cavalier all the way inside the block, lays it up and in. Defense fell asleep momentarily there for Goodwell, 33-27. Espino all the way to the other end, has it tapped away from behind. Gonzalez backs it out. He'll leave it for Taylor. Back to Espino in the corner. Puts up the 3. And that quick release puts it up and in. 36-27 now the lead for Goodwell. Cavalier will bring it up for Canadian. Carr gives it back to Cavalier. Backdoor pass off the screen. Carr lays it up and in. 36-29. Taylor, pass up ahead to Espino. Deep three. Missed everything, but Schreiner there for the rebound. Gonzalez, top of the key, three. No good. Rebound by Cavalier. Races across midcourt. Passes it up ahead to Wagner. Can't control it. Dumps it inside to Carr, who lays it off the glass. No good. Tip back outside. Cavalier gathers it in for the Wildcats. 45 seconds left. Dump across the lane to Carr. Lays it up and in. 36-31 as they cut the deficit back to 5. Espino with the ball out top. Backdoor cut to Taylor. Lays it up and in. 38-31. Cavalier with it just across midcourt. Now over to Fuentes. Back to Cavalier. 10 seconds. He'll take the deep three. No good. Rebound by Ramirez. Turns around, knocked away by Wagner. Takes a shot in the lane. No good. 2 seconds left on the clock. Schreiner comes away with the rebound, and we head to the half. The Goodwell Eagles lead the Canadian Wildcats 38-31. We'll be back with the second half. 38-31. Just to update you on some of the foul trouble that's going on. Canadian with 2 players with 3 fouls as Jackson Valenzuela has 3 fouls, as well as Julian Dominguez. Eagles have a couple of players with 2, Mason Taylor and also Ben Schreiner with 2 apiece. Nobody else has any more than 1. Canadian with the opening possession of this half. Cavalier kicks it back outside. Here's a drive, dish back out to Cavaliers. They'll reset. Guarded out there by Gaucine. Kick to the corner, 3-pointer is up, and we've got an offensive foul that's going to be called on Carr. That will be his first. And I did get a first name in that during the half. That's Caden Carr. So Dominguez with the ball across midcourt. Drives to the hoop, Euro step, can't get it to drop in. Rebound put back up by Ramirez. It's good. 40-31 now the lead. Long pass ahead. As Valenzuela now kicks it to Wagner. Kicks it back outside. Valenzuela with it in the corner now. Skip pass over to Wagner. Now Cavalier will reset the offense. His coach Brandon Wall calls out the play he wants. Ball to the corner. Now back around the perimeter. Valenzuela drive in the lane. Jump step, puts it up. No good, but he does draw the foul. Foul will be on Aiden Gonzalez, so that will be his second. First team foul of the half. First free throw off the back iron, no good. .6:55 left to play here in the third quarter. He does sink the second one, makes it an 8-point game, 40-32. Gonzalez brings it across midcourt. He'll leave it outside for Espino. Back to Gonzalez. Around the perimeter, Espino dumps it inside to Ben Schreiner. Turns baseline side, misses. Ramirez with the rebound though, and he draws a foul. Foul will be on Carr. That'll be his second. He's picked up 2 quickly to start the second half. Ball batted out of bounds by Mitchell. It'll stay with Goodwell. Julian Dominguez checks into the game for Valenzuela. Timeout on the floor, 6:30 left to play here in the third. It's Goodwell 40, Canadian 32.
Do you dread the cold of winter? Then PTCI has the freeze that will warm your heart. Boost your speed, and PTCI will freeze your internet bill at the same price you've already been paying for 6 whole months. If you are a new customer, PTCI will give you a free month of internet, and everyone gets whole home Wi-Fi free for 6 months. Call 800-562-2556 to freeze your bill today.
Some restrictions apply. Out of the timeout, Goodwell will inbound underneath their own basket. Espino gets it into Gonzalez. They'll get it back to him in the corner. Tried to dump it over the top. 2 players collide, and Goodwell could have lost possession, but able to keep it because of that collision. Pass outside, knocked away, and out of bounds. It will stay with Goodwell as Gaucine and Ramirez were both right there. Guarded tightly there by Cavalier and Dominguez. Lob pass in, out of bounds. Last touch by Ben Schreiner, and over to Canadian. So Canadian picks up their defensive intensity there. And the Goodwell offense didn't look too good on that possession because of it. Cavalier walks it up. Now on the wing, Mitchell back to Wagner. Now over to Dominguez, down low to Carr. Baseline shot is good. 40-34 now the score. Gonzalez inside, lays it up and in as he goes coast to coast. 42-34. Big man can post up and he can drive it in. He hit the three earlier in the game as well. Wagner with the ball on the wing, down low to Carr, kicks it to the corner. Mitchell looked at the three, couldn't gather it in time before Espino could come defend. Now Cavalier comes off the screen, and he does draw the foul. That'll be on Gaucine. That'll be number 2 on Gaucine, and also the second team foul of the half. Cavaliers' first free throw off the outer edge of the rim. 5:13 to play here, third quarter. Gets that one to rattle home. 42-35 now the score in this Gruver Holiday Classic boys consolation contest. That one knocked away as Cavalier got a hand on it as well as Carr. Dominguez back with it, kicks it over to Cavalier. Now back to Dominguez up top. Wagner over to Mitchell, he'll drive. Picks up his dribble back outside. Dominguez barely saves that one from an over and back over to Cavalier. Wagner off the leg of Espino. Dominguez picks up the loose ball. Now back to Wagner. And Cavalier will reset the offense as Canadian was a little out of whack there. He'll drive, puts up the shot. No good, but he does draw the foul. That's going to be on Gaucine again. And he has picked up 2 quickly here to give him 3 for the game. First free throw from Cavalier, no good. Jaden Harold will check in for Gonzalez. Missed them both. Loose ball on the floor. And that's going to be a call on Carr. That's his third after none in the first half. 4:22 to play. Each team with 3 fouls, 3 team fouls as well here. Harold across midcourt, looks to go baseline, kicks it inside. Ramirez lays it up and in. 44-35 now the score. Dominguez tried to drive, kicks it back out to Cavalier up top. Now he'll give it off to Dominguez at the point. Now back to Cavalier. Espino knocked that one away, and a foul is going to be called on Espino. That's his second, team's 4th foul. Mitchell guarded tightly there, knocked away momentarily by Espino, gets it over to Dominguez. He picks up his dribble, backdoor cut, ball loose. Espino comes away with the steal. Gives it up to Gaucine. Ben Schreiner leaves that jumper short, safe from going out of bounds by Gaucine. Passes it right back to Ben Schreiner for the layup. 46-35. I think we have our first double-digit lead of the contest. Cavalier kicks it across court. Now Mitchell with it, back out top to Dominguez. Now Cavalier takes the handoff up top. Under 3 left here in the third. Dominguez picks up his dribble in the corner. Close to a 5-second call. They do call timeout before then. 2:46 left to play here in the third. It's Goodwell 46, Canadian 35. Our next game coming up today, the boys' third place game between Hooker and Perryton, scheduled to start at 3:40. We'll have that one. Then we'll have the Gruver Lady Greyhounds versus the Canadian Lady Wildcats for the girls' championship game, followed by Gruver and Pampa on the boys' side for the championship game as well. So stick around for all the games we're going to have here today. Dominguez with the ball, leaves it for Cavalier, pulls up free throw line, no good. Carr's going to be called for this fourth foul there with the push off from behind. That's his fourth, team's fourth of the half as well. And he'll have to take a seat on the bench with that one. Fuentes checks back in. That makes Canadian a much smaller team. Ben Schreiner kicks it around. Taylor over. Now Ramirez at the block. Puts it up and gets it to crawl over. 48-35. Eagles starting to pull away. Dominguez kicks it back outside. Fuentes back to Dominguez. Now to Cavalier. Leaves it. Now Mitchell in the lane, kicks it back outside to Dominguez. Cavalier with the drive, right-handed, leaves it short. Taylor with the defense and the rebound. Harold, Euro steps, misses the shot. Ramirez there has it stripped away, dumps it outside. Ben Schreiner jumper at the free throw line, too strong. Rebounded by Mitchell. Now Fuentes with it. Gets it to Wagner, spins inside, double team, kicks it out. Dominguez open for three, leaves it short. Ben Schreiner with the rebound. Ramirez hands it off to Espino. Espino picks up his dribble over to Ben Schreiner on the wing. Gets it to Taylor on the block, kicks it across to Harold. He'll pull up for the 15-footer, no good. Rebounded on the backside by Fuentes. Fuentes gives it off to Cavalier, who brings it across midcourt. 45 seconds left here in the third, looking to drive, knocked away by Harold as he comes away with the steal. Espino will bring it across. Drives in the lane, puts up the floater, banks it up and in. 50-35, now the lead with under 30 seconds left here in the third. Dominguez, he's going to be called for the travel there. Wanted to pass it off to Mitchell. Mitchell didn't see it, and so he hesitated and took that extra step. Checking in will be Vance Schreiner. And Throgmorton checking in for Canadian. Ramirez drives, kicks it to Harold. Back to Ramirez on the block, turns inside, left it short, gets his own rebound, back outside to Harold, now to Espino. Puts up the runner, banks it up, no good, but does draw the foul. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. The foul is going to be called on Mitchell. That's his first. Espino's first free throw off the front of the rim. It's 5 team fouls on Canadian now. 4.4 left here in the third. Gets the second, 51-35. Ball inbounded to Cavalier, cross midcourt, puts up the running 3, no good off the front of the rim. And that is the end of the third quarter. It's Goodwell 51, Canadian 35. So as we start the fourth quarter, Goodwell with a 16-point lead. Really pulled away there in the second half of that third quarter with a nice little run. They'll have possession of the ball here to start in the fourth. Galcine leaves it for Harold. Back to Galcine, 3 from the corner, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Fuentes. Espino with the steal. Oh, but then he took a dribble and it right on the line, so ball will stay with Canadian. Backdoor pass to Cavalier, left-handed layup, no good. Espino taps it out to Schreiner across midcourt. All the way to the box, puts it up, no good. Put back by Taylor, too strong. Rebounded underneath by Dominguez. Now back up top, Cavalier with the ball. Drives in, Euro step underneath, lays it up and in, 51-37 with 7 left to play. Galcine leaves it off for Harold, now over to Espino. Offensive foul is going to be called. That's going to be on Schreiner. Vance Schreiner, his second, team's 5th foul. Valenzuela checks back into the game for the Wildcats. Just under 7 to play here in this boys consolation. Cavalier splits the defenders, misses. Put back by Throgmorton, missed. Espino comes away with the rebound, races all the way through the lane, lays it up and in. And he can get from coast to coast pretty quick, 53-37. Mitchell with the ball on the wing. Tries to toss it into Throgmorton. Puts up the shot, too strong. And the loose ball grabbed by Taylor. Now Galcine with it on the wing. Over to Schreiner. Back to Galcine. Puts up the runner. That shot is affected. Ball loose, though. Taylor got it up. No good. Throgmorton with the rebound. Outlet pass to Cavalier across midcourt. Drives and draws contact. And that will be on Gaucine. And by my calculations, that's number 4 on him. Ramirez, Ben Schreiner will check into the game for the Eagles. Wagner checks back in for Canadian. That's 16 fouls for the Eagles. 5:53 left to play in the contest. Long pass out front to Mitchell. Now over to Dominguez. Back up top, Cavalier. Dominguez looks to drive, kicks it back out, tipped away by Gonzalez with the steal. He's trapped in the corner, pass off, stolen away by Wagner, who gets it to Dominguez, drives in the lane, puts up the turnaround shot, and gets it to drop in, 53-39 with 5:15 to play. Espino gets it over to Ramirez to the block, puts up the shot, no good. Loose ball. Ben Schreiner comes away with it, drives to the lane, puts it up, no good. Ball tipped back out, Ben Schreiner with it. Banks in the shot, 55-39. Cavalier will bring it up for the Wildcats. Into the corner to Mitchell. Ball tipped away by Espino. Cavalier throws it off of Espino with a quick action play to keep possession for the Wildcats. 4:46 left in this boys consolation game. Ball tipped by Ramirez. It goes out of bounds on the other side of the court. Now Goodwell ended up on this side of the bracket, and because of the oddness of a 12-team bracket, they actually won their first round game, beat Spearman, then lost to Pampa, who will play in the championship game tonight, and then ended up having to play Spearman again to reach this. Canadian lost to Headley in the first round, then defeated San Jacinto, Gruver JV to get here. Missed shot. Gonzalez comes away with it for the Eagles. Leaves it for Harold. Down the post, Espino with it, double teamed. And they'll say tied him up for a jump ball. 4:15 to play. Arrow points in favor of Canadians, so they'll take possession. Dominguez with the ball. Cavalier now kicks it out. Corner three by Mitchell. Leaves it short. Rebound by Cavalier. Cavalier with the turnaround jumper in the lane. It's good. 55-41 now the score with under 4 to play. Ramirez with the drive. Kicks out to Ben Schreiner. Looks to go baseline. That one knocked out of his hand. They'll call a foul. That's going to be on Mitchell. That will be his second, team's 6th foul. Schreiner's first free throw off the front of the rim. Gaucine checks back into the game, this time for Espino. 3:43 left to play. Free throw is good, 56-41. Now the lead for Goodwell. Good pass up ahead, back outside to Cavalier. We've got a timeout on the floor. 3:34 left to play. It's Goodwell 56, Canadian 41.
Dear Santa, I've been a good dad this year.
Dad, what are you doing?
Well, I was asking Santa for a new phone this year.
That's cute. But right now, PTCI can give you $800 off new phones and new unlimited plans.
Really?
Now, get up to $800 off the newest phones for current and new PTCI customers. Call 800-562-2556 today and get yours.
Do you dread the cold of winter? Then PTCI has the freeze that will warm your heart. Boost your speed, and PTCI will freeze your internet bill at the same price you've already been paying for 6 whole months. If you are a new customer, PTCI will give you a free month of internet, and everyone gets whole home Wi-Fi free for 6 months. Call 800-562-2556 to freeze your bill today.
Some restrictions apply. So out of the timeout, Canadians ball. They trail by 15. 3:34 left to play. Here at the Gruver Holiday Classic boys consolation game. Pass inside. Harold with the steal. Pass ahead to Ramirez. Spins in the lane. Leaves it for Gaucine. It's blocked by Wagner. Ramirez, I don't think he realized he had a moment there where he had it wide open with nobody guarding him, but his back was to the basket. Cavalier pulls up free throw line, no good. Gaucine with the rebound. Clock winds under 3 to play. Leaves it for Ramirez. Guarded tightly there by Valenzuela. Ben Schreiner with it now. Inside to Ramirez. Left-handed layup, no good. Ball tapped out. That's going to be a foul. They will call that on Ramirez. They'll walk to the other end as Canadian is in the bonus. Just Ramirez's second foul, team 7th. It will be Jackson Valenzuela at the line. First free throw is up and good. 2:46 left to play in this one. Second one crawls over the front of the rim. It's good as well. 56-43. Gaucine with the ball, picks up his dribble. Over to Dominguez, who gets it across the midcourt stripe. Splits the defenders, steps to the hoop. Gets it to drop in. He's had some nice basket attacks from pretty far out that he's made go in today. 58-43. Cavalier splits the defenders, pulls up at the block, no good. Tapped out by Carr though. Can't save it, goes out of bounds. It will be Eagle ball with 2:12 to play. Up ahead to Schreiner, tried to get it back to Gaucine. Looked like all of that was maybe an ill-advised alley-oop. Did keep possession though. Ben Schreiner with it out up top. Back over to Gaucine. Guarded tightly there by Mitchell. Now back over to Gonzalez. Gaucine open for 3 from the deep wing, in and out. Rebounded by Valenzuela. Kick over to the wing. Dominguez drives baseline, has to kick it back out to Carr. Valenzuela with the drive, lays it up and in. 58-45, minute and a half left in this one. Full court pressure, man. Ramirez double teamed, kicks it across to Harold. He'll drive all the way in, has it knocked away and off his leg by Cavalier. Nice defensive play there. Ball over to Canadian. 3 subs in for Goodwell. Number 34, Cale Collins. Number 22, Carter Brace. They bring in 3 fresh players with 1:22 to play. Still a 13-point game. Cavalier with the ball, leaves it for Mitchell. Back outside. Drive by Valenzuela, loses control. Throw out of bounds as he tried to get it to Mitchell. Turnover back to Goodwell. The other one I missed was number 35, Nathaniel Velasquez, who's also in the game for Goodwell. Pass inbound, knocked out by Mitchell as he tried to get it to Gonzalez. Timeout on the floor, 1:09 to play. Goodwell leads Canadian 58-45.
Dear Santa, I've been a good dad this year.
Dad, what are you doing?
Well, I was asking Santa for a new phone this year.
That's cute. But right now, PTCI can give you $800 off new phones and new unlimited plans.
Really?
Now, get up to $800 off the newest phones for current and new PTCI customers. Call 800-562-2556 today and get yours.
So back out of the timeout, ball inbounded to Galcine. Up across the midcourt stripe to Gonzalez. Guarded tightly out there. Ball tipped up in the air, steal by Cavalier. Gives it off to Mitchell. Up across midcourt to Dominguez. Leaves it for Mitchell, 3 in the corner, looked at by Valenzuela. Drives in instead, banks it up and in. Timeout on the floor, 42.5 left. Goodwell leads Canadian 58-47.
Do you dread the cold of winter? Then PTCI has the freeze that will warm your heart. Boost your speed, and PTCI will freeze your internet bill at the same price you've already been paying for 6 whole months. If you are a new customer, PTCI will give you a free month of internet, and everyone gets whole home Wi-Fi free for 6 months. Call 800-562-2556 to freeze your bill today.
Some restrictions apply. Out of the timeout, Goodwell ball. Ball inbounded to Galcine, off his leg, able to gather it in. And that's going to be a double dribble turnover. As Velasquez couldn't control that one, 37.5. Canadian ball. Ball passed in, Dominguez with it out top. Looks to drive outside to Cavalier. Skip pass to Mitchell, 3 from the corner, in and out, no good. Out of bounds, last touch by Canadian, 25.4. Ball passed in to Collins. Quickly gets it back to Velasquez. Now Galcine, back to Collins. Long pass ahead to Brace. Now over to Gonzalez, now back up top to Galcine, under 10 seconds. And the Goodwell Eagles are going to hold on for the win over Canadian as the final seconds tick off. That's the ball game. The Goodwell Eagles have defeated the Canadian Wildcats 58-47 here in the boys' consolation game here at the Gruver Holiday Classic. We're going to take a short break, but we will be back for the third place boys game as Hooker will take on Perryton, who they faced in the second round for the third place trophy. So congratulations to the Goodwell Eagles on winning consolation. And we will catch you back for that game, which is scheduled to start at 3:40.